Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Emerald with only one snow run was a fun solo Pokemon run. Let's follow that up with another fun Fallout 4 run. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Fallout 4 with only VATS. So, VATS. If you don't know what it is, it's a game mechanic in all of the Bethesda Fallout games that lets you freeze time to make a number of aimed shots at enemies RPG style. It's supposed to simulate the aimed shots from the original Fallout games. You spend AP points and have % chances to hit rather than just aiming manually. In Fallout 4, it works a bit different though. First, it doesn't fully freeze time, it just slows it down a lot, and second is as you shoot in VATS, you earn critical hits that you can spend at will for an automatic hit that deals extra damage. VATS is great, but the problem is that you can only do a few shots with it before you're out of AP and have to recharge. That's when you would fight normally. If you're only using VATS, like I'll be, that just means that we'll be totally defenseless while we regenerate our AP. Like always, I'm writing this script as I go through with the challenge, so all of this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I'm sure I can win. This will be another run that's mostly just for fun. I've never done a pure VATS build, and this should be a fun one. Let's explain the rules. I'm only allowed to deal damage by using VATS. If I need to shoot out a light or something during stealth, then that's fine, but if I'm dealing damage to something that actually has a health bar, I need to use VATS. Lastly, only cosmetic and game-fixing mods are allowed. I'm not using any mods that affect gameplay. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So, let's start with character creation. How we looking? Great, right? So the most important stats to me in terms of the value of the points themselves would be perception, agility, and luck. Perception is our accuracy in VATS, agility gives us more action points to work with, and luck will charge our critical hit meter faster. Now, as you can see, our stats are crazy lopsided. 1 strength, 9 perception, 2 endurance, 1 charisma, 3 intelligence, 5 agility, and 7 luck. Let me show you the perk calculator so I can really show you why. With Perception, we actually want the 10th perk, but there's a Perception bobblehead really early in the game that we can easily get, so I just picked to have 9. There's a lot of good perks in Perception though, like Concentrated Fire, so we gain accuracy for every shot in a row on the same body part. 3 in Intelligence is so that we can get Medic for better Stimpaks, and Gun Nut to mod our guns, since that's pretty much required. 5 in Agility is so that we can get Action Boy for faster action point regeneration, that's a must-have. And lastly, a 7 in Luck so that we can get Critical Banker to save up multiple critical hits, as well as for better criticals for stronger crits. Mysterious Stranger could be fun since he only activates during VATS, and considering how low our intelligence is, I might even pick up Idiot Savant for some bonus experience. At 3 intelligence, it's actually pretty worth it. That does leave us with only 1 strength and 2 endurance though, so expect us to be crazy frail. Will this be a good build? Who knows, let's have some fun. Now I'm sure this is obvious, but the vault is super easy. It's basically just a tutorial. The hardest part was just drilling it into my head that I have to use VATS. It feels so natural to react to things by shooting, but I've got to use the Q button instead and aim in VATS every single time. Hey, you want to see something super satisfying? Yeah, this is gonna be a fun run. Oh, and you may have noticed that some things are different. I have some quality of life mods that you guys suggested in the previous video. Of course, this is nothing that affects gameplay, just nice little things like being able to see what junk can be broken down into by looking at it. And of course, the Fallout 4 unofficial patch to fix a bunch of glitches and bugs. Would you believe I wasn't using that before? So the very first thing I do once I get out is just to clean up a bunch of the town. Just basic base building stuff. See, VATS is heavily affected by how much you mod your guns, so I want to mod them a lot. That means I'll need a ton of adhesive, so I should get a water generator and some crops going early to make vegetable starch. Now, in this run, I want to have some fun. The plan is to do the biggest skip we can in the main plot, and that means going straight to where Nick Valentine is. We're not even gonna go to his office in Diamond City first to see who Nick is. I want to see how much the dialogue changes. Before that, though, I want to get the Perception bobblehead from the Civil War Museum just south of here, so let's go do that first. Oh, and I'm not even going to pick up dog meat because I have a vague memory of something funny happening later in the game if you don't. Oh, and one more fun rule. Anytime I have dialogue and I have the option to use a sarcastic response, I have to do it. No matter how terrible, ill-timed, or embarrassing a line my character says, I must pick sarcastic if it's there. So here we are at Concord, and it's our first time fighting something that can shoot back. This area is really easy. I think every raider here was a one-shot on a headshot, and our accuracy was amazing despite just using a 10mm pistol. Mostly, I just used this as a chance to get some experience and to pick up loads of ammo. Oh, and a pro tip you guys gave me. I don't know how I never noticed it before, but if you pick up someone's gun, you get all the ammo from its magazine. That explains why I had so much 50 caliber ammo on the previous challenge. See, I wasn't just picking up all of the ammo that Skinny Malone's crew was dropping, I was also picking up their machine guns. I was doing that because I planned to sell them, but because they have large magazines, I was getting loads of extra ammo from it. Good to know! Anyway, this leveled us up a couple of times, so I took Idiot Savant for more experience, and the first level of awareness so that we can see enemy resistances well in VATS. The moment we cleared the place, I just grabbed the bobblehead to top up our perception, and then left without really talking to anybody. Okay, now that we have that, I start heading south. We don't actually want to go straight to Skinny Malone's crew, since there's somewhere that I want to stop off at first, Vault 81. It's a functional vault with a whole community living there. The reason I want to go there is because I remember them having some really incredible equipment that they sell, including some gear that will help us with VATS. I doubt that we'll have enough caps for everything that I want when I get there, but at least I want the fast travel on my map. So I'm gonna head there and document whatever happens on the way. Anyway, about the travel. I got in a few fights here and there, but nothing really that big. I did have a rough fight with an alpha wild mongrel in a house. That was the first time I couldn't actually finish the fight before running out of action points. I ended up having to run around a bunch to wait for our AP to come back before I could take him out, so we lost a lot of our health. The house had a bed in it though, so it was easy to sleep to heal back for free. Oh, and I leveled up at some point and got better criticals, so now our crits do way more damage. I also eventually got to Vault 81, so we have it on our map, although I didn't bother going in. I don't think we're close to having enough money to actually get what I want. Most of my money so far has gone into buying junk that I need to upgrade the base with the necessities like a recruitment beacon. Plus, I don't think they actually let us in until we give them 3 fusion cores, and I don't have that. I'm sure you can talk your way in, but we don't have the charisma for it. I think I'm just gonna walk to Boston next and see if I can make some caps looting random buildings. So right outside the vault is a swampy lake. I fought some giant mosquitoes and black bloat flies outside, and it was honestly pretty hard. The fact that we're super frail and can only attack with VATS is causing issues, since I'm often finding myself running around the shack waiting for my AP to come back just to take down anything. It really doesn't help that my guns are still pretty weak. It took entire minutes just to fight basic enemies. Once I cleared the place out though, I found this shack by the water. There was a bit of loot in here, but what was most interesting was the master locked safe. A safe with a master lock on it usually means there's another way in. I checked on the computer and there was a journal entry about how someone's boat tipped over in the lake and they lost a locket, so I decided to take a dive under where I saw the boat. I ended up finding a skeleton with a key on it. I took the key back to the safe and check it out, the good loot. The best stuff in here for sure was this well-upgraded 10mm pistol and a pipe sniper rifle. I still have a good amount of 10mm ammo, so this pistol is going to make it a lot easier once we get into town. At least I hope so. Alright, let's actually get into Boston now. Right away I was greeted with some raiders that weren't too tough, but we still need to get pretty close to them to actually hit. I really should get a rifle or something that has better accuracy at a range. Problem is, long-barreled weapons use more AP, so ideally I should only use them if it also does a lot more damage. Also, these raiders are a higher level than us. I really should hunt down a lot more experience. Hey look, it's the lady who tries to lead us into the hardware store to get ambushed. Let's just nip that in the bud. I ended up sneaking into the back of the hardware store to get the drop on them, but they actually almost took us out. The shotgun is great in close quarters like this, but only if I lead them to me. Demo Dick Marcinko here almost took me out, but we've got a critical, so it was okay. I've got to say, the extra crit damage is really fun so far, especially since crits can't miss. Naturally, I looted the place from top to bottom once I finished them off. Gotta get whatever supplies I can. There's loads of adhesive in here, so that'll help a lot with crafting. Speaking of, let's do some crafting. So, some rules about gun crafting and how it interacts with action points. All of this is straight from the wiki, so if I got anything wrong, crucify them, not me. Anything that increases rate of fire by naming the gun light, hair trigger, or advanced will lower the AP cost. So will barrels that are short or light, although short barrels will affect the range of the gun. Light long barrel might be more useful outside of close combat. For stocks, we want any kind of short stock on rifles and the marksman's grip on handguns. For magazine, we want anything with quick reload, as heavier stuff like drum mags will increase the AP cost. Last, we want reflex sight, as they lower AP cost. All scopes double AP cost, so we should avoid those unless we need them. Lastly, muzzles don't seem to directly affect the cost. In general, you want the gun to be light. Stuff that makes it heavy tends to make it more costly to use in VATS. With that in mind, I upgraded our pistol with a reflex sight, sharpshooter grip, and a light long barrel. It's already got a calibrated receiver, so that's increased accuracy and critical damage. That's what came with it, and I'm pretty happy with that. That's all I really have for adhesive right now, though, so let's get back to looting Boston. I want to make some money so I can buy a better gun. So, traveling through Boston, we fought so many raiders. First, we had this awful shootout with some level 1 raiders over a long range. We weren't in any real danger since they're low level, and I broke their arms pretty much instantly. But this was my chance to try out our pipe sniper rifle, and man, it's useless. Yeah, I can hit from far away, but it uses up so much AP that we can only do about 2 shots on a full AP bar. It also hardly does any damage. Our pistol, on the other hand, is pretty great now. We can still only reliably hit at close range, but I can shoot 6 times on a full bar. I think I could only do about 4 before. Also, I've taken out so many raiders at this point that we've got tons of ammo for pipe weapons as well as loads of shotgun shells. I'm not exactly using my double barrel shotgun much since the range is very short, but it deals great damage when they get in our face, so it's still useful for popping around corners. I ended up making my way all the way to the combat zone. Now, I know if I clear that place, I could get Kate as a companion, and although she's alright, her default gun kinda sucks, so I'd have to supply her with a better gun and some ammo. Maybe I could just upgrade this baseball bat and give that to her? That might be worth it. I'm gonna drop off my gear and then get in there. She can be my companion for at least a bit. So I get into the combat zone. It's basically a fight pit. Right away, the raiders all decide to start shooting at me because I'm not a raider, I guess? Honestly, I don't know why. I could have been a paying customer like everyone else here. Anyway, these guys are mostly level 1, but they also have shotguns, Molotovs, and there were tons of them, so we almost die a few times. It didn't take long, but it was a very hard-fought victory. Once we clear the place out, we get in the cage and talk to Tommy and Kate. Tommy gets over Kate's character by saying that she's constantly doing drugs like 6 times in a row, and Kate is inexplicably Irish. I have no idea how she has a thick Irish accent considering she couldn't have possibly immigrated from Ireland, what with it being post-apocalypse. Maybe she's from a group of people who are from an all-Irish vault and they just kept the accent? Honestly, if Vault-Tec wanted an all-Irish vault in the middle of America, it wouldn't surprise me. That's far from the weirdest thing that they've done. Anyway, Tommy here says that we ruined his business, and then he gives us 100 caps and Kate's contract so she's with us now. No, I don't really have any idea why he would do that. He just said that he's going to clean the place up and have a less blood-soaked clientele. So, like, maybe he's gonna start a bar or something? I don't know, it's insanely vague, and like that, we're $100 richer and have a new companion. Alright. Anyway, the combat zone is right next to Park Street Station, where Skinny Malone's crew is holding Nick Valentine hostage. So let's finally do some plot progression. The first room of this place wasn't too horrible, although basically every firefight is rough by this point. We take tons of damage every fight and always get close to death. It wasn't really bad until we got down to the subway tracks where you have a long-range shootout. We spent most of our time hiding behind a downed vending machine, waiting for them to come to us where I could finish them off. Even with concentrated fire, we can only land reliable hits if we can charge the full bar of AP. Honestly, I should probably be using my crits more. I have a bad habit of trying to hold on to them for way too long. If anything, I should use them for the guaranteed hit. We almost died plenty down here, and Kate is no good at long range with her sawn-off shotgun. I think I need to finally go and make myself a better rifle. Okay, so I had to walk to Diamond City, but it wasn't that far at all. After scouring over the gun shop's inventory, he was selling only one proper rifle, and it's a short one. Whatever, it'll have to do. Let's see if I can mod this thing to make it worth using. I'll have to buy some ammo for it too. Once I get back to the weapons bench, I just have enough adhesive to give it a reflex sight, a long light barrel, and a quick eject mag to speed up its otherwise rough reload time. Not bad. In fact, crafting this leveled us up to level 7, so I went ahead and picked up Action Boy for 25% faster AP regeneration. Something we really badly need. Let's go explore Boston and test this thing out while getting some experience. So I ended up going to Hallucinogen Inc., a random building that I passed by earlier. It's loaded with gunners who are all going crazy and shooting each other as the building is full of some kind of gas. For some reason, it never seems to affect us. Anyway, the place ended up being an awesome source of ammo and caps for us, since almost everyone here drops laser pistols and caps. These laser pistols are pretty good, especially at close range, so I use them for the whole place. They're great at killing low armor targets, and there's plenty of those in early game. We never found any amazing loot, but because they were so often busy fighting with each other, we had a great time collecting experience and ammo. I couldn't get to the very top thanks to the terminal being too tough to hack and me not being able to find a hidden password anywhere, but I wouldn't mind revisiting this place sometime. It looks like it was some kind of lab where they made gas that makes people go crazy, and that they were marketing it as some kind of insane self-defense thing. That's very Fallout. Hey, while I explore Boston some more, now's a great time to go over this week's sponsor, Chimera. Last time I showed off the graphic tees, so I want to take a minute to tell you about the plain tees. I'm a big fan of a nice, crisp, plain t-shirt, so long as they're really comfortable, and thankfully, Chimera's t-shirts are. The Essentials short sleeve t-shirt is a personal favorite of mine, coming in 13 different colors. You can absolutely find something that fits your style. They hold up well over time, as I can personally attest, now that I've had mine for well over a year now, with no wear or tear, and the price is honestly pretty great. Where I live in Canada, you gotta pay a lot more than that for a decent t-shirt. This is a really great deal. So if you want to support the channel and look good while doing it, hit up the link in the description to go to Chimera and pick up something warm to wear this winter. If you're going to go pick up something, then make sure to use the promo code Mah-Dry-Bread at checkout to get 10% off your order, and to let them know that I sent you. Now let's get back to exploring. So I spent some more time searching Boston. We finally got to use our rifle a bit, and it's pretty strong, but the problem is that it's still not amazingly accurate, and the ammo for it is expensive. I still just ended up using the laser pistol most of the time. In my exploration, though, I found the Boston Public Library, and there's actually something I want in here. The sarcastic dialogue option here is hardly even sarcastic.
Matter of fact, I do have an appointment. Made it 200 years ago. Asshole.
The actual solution to get in is great, though.
My ID number is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
Welcome, Mr. Mayor. Please enjoy your visit.
Solid punchline, 10 out of 10. We're in the library, so this area is pretty cool. There's a huge shootout here, where we're backing up a bunch of robots and turrets in fighting a super mutant raid. The main reason why I wanted in here is because we can get the intelligence bobblehead. Yeah, it makes our idiot savant trait a little bit weaker, but more intelligence increases our experience gain from everything else, so it's not really a big deal. I wanted to get more experience and loot, this area's fun, and the bobblehead is a nice bonus. Anyway, the first wave of super mutants were easy since we had so many robots backing us up, but once we got to the main stairwell is when it got really hard. This area is always rough. They love lobbing Molotovs up the stairs at us, and it causes us to die quite a few times. Eventually, it was just us left, and we had to keep popping out from behind cover, firing as many shots as we could, then hiding again until our AP came back. For some reason, they never seemed to want to actually come up here and overwhelm us. It took quite a while, but eventually we won and leveled up in the process. I took the ability to bank critical hits. That's gotta be a good one. So while exploring, I ended up finding the old church that the railroad uses as their base. Want to have some fun? I'm just gonna put in the password and walk right in there without any character in-game up until this point having told us that the railroad even exists, just to see the dialogue.
Stop right there. You went through a lot of effort.
Right.
Who the hell are you?
A meeting? I was just exploring.
And you just happened to guess the password to the secret door. Right. It's clear you're not with the Institute, but who told you how to contact us?
What? Contact who? I just stumbled in here.
You really don't know, do you? I'm Desdemona, and I'm the leader of the railroad. And you are? Deacon, where have you been?
You're having a party. What gives with my invitation?
I need intel. Who is this?
Well, he's got to be someone. He made it down here, right? Normal people just don't do that.
What, normal people can't figure out your decoder ring out front?
These days, being able to even spell railroad is cause for celebration.
So you got...
That is the weakest excuse I've ever heard. Yeah, I'm sure plenty of people in the wasteland can't spell, but we know for a fact that tons can. How about the merchants who have to keep their inventory? Or the many people who are still alive in vaults? Or the Brotherhood of Steel? Or, you know, the Institute? Yeah, literally the people you're hiding from, and they all know how to read and write. You could have made your password anything in the world, and you made your password your username. I just can't get over it. Anyway, we leveled up by talking to them, so we took the medic perk to make our stim packs heal more. Now let's get out of here, I should get back to the plot. Okay, so we're back to the underground, fighting our way into the vault. Honestly, the laser pistol is really awesome here. I kinda wish our intelligence wasn't so low, because if it was higher, then we could learn the science perk to allow us to mod these laser weapons. We only have access to really basic mods with it. Pretty much everyone here melts fast from this thing since they're all unarmored. Once we get to some of the longer range parts of the vault, I crack out our rifle, and its accuracy here is actually fantastic. Body shots from super far away are usually at 90% accuracy or above and deal tons of damage. I still might want to upgrade this gun with more damage per shot, although I think making it heavier will lose out on some AP. Might still be worth it, hard to say. Once I get to where Nick is, I just use a critical to one-shot the guard from across the room. I love Fallout games. Ready to see if there's new dialogue for if we've ever heard of Nick before?
Ah, my knight in shining armor. Question is, why does he come all this way? Risk life and limb for an old private eye.
My son, Sean.
Nope. We just walk up to this strange synth that we've never met before and start telling him about how we want him to help us find our son. In fairness, he said he's an old private eye, but man, this feels so clunky. We literally walked into the room to see a synth for the first time, and just because he said he's a private eye casually, we instantly tell him about our son. This made so much more sense when we were told about Valentine's detective agency and already met with his assistant, but we haven't. If you just gave us one extra line of dialogue where we ask about him and he fully introduces himself as Nick Valentine from Valentine's detective agency in Diamond City, then maybe I'd say that would give him a little more credibility. I guess they just didn't expect people to wander in here. And in fairness, it's unlikely since it's such a big world, but still, if you're gonna let me do it, then at least plan for it. Anyway, the rest of the fighting here is super easy, so let's just skip ahead to Skinny. Once we get to Skinny, I decide I don't want to talk my way out of it this time. I just got into position, entered VATS, and landed a crit on Skinny to take him out. His two triggermen are both level 1, and Carla is an unarmored melee target, so honestly, they all went down super fast. Valentine doesn't even really care that I shot Skinny while they were talking about the old days. He just makes some jokes about Skinny being dead. Once we're out, we talk to Valentine, and he asks us how we found him, and we actually have an option to tell him that it was just luck, and we happened to be there. Wait, so Bethesda actually did have a dialogue option for if I stumbled in here at the end of the quest, but not one for when we actually meet him? That's so weird. Anyway, we totally lucked out here and Idiot Savant activated. The way it works, by the way, is that anytime we gain experience, there's a chance that we'll get 3 times more than normal. Well, it activated when we got our experience from finishing the quest, so we got an entire level and a half. I spent the perk point on Life Giver for 20 more health, since we're still pretty frail. So next is the part where we get interviewed on our son, get told that the killer of our wife is Kellogg, then we have to go to his house, then get the mayor to give us the key, then we check the house, then Dogmeat helps us find Kellogg. But wait, we don't have Dogmeat. We never met him. What's gonna happen? I have a vague memory, but I gotta confirm it. Let's go see.
Oh, yeah. I heard their names, their home addresses, and where their diary keys are hidden.
All right, calm down.
Why is it so much of the time that we pick sarcastic, we just come across as a bitter jerk? So we go to Kellogg's house and it's locked. I tried having Kate pick the lock, but she just broke a bunch of bobby pins and it didn't open, so I had to go get the key. I couldn't pass the dialogue checks to get it for free, but thankfully the guard randomly started staring at a wall, so I could just pick the lock on the desk and then grab it that way. I wonder if he's programmed to just stare at the wall if he fail all the dialogue checks. Probably. Now, this is hilarious. I go into the house and I get the cigars. Nick says that he'll call in a specialist, then says...
Right, I'll send out the signal. You're not gonna hear it. The frequency is high, but he'll pick it up. Okay, I call...
Well, we heard it, so I guess we're all dogs. Yeah, he just happens to know Dogmeat. I guess his dog whistle was so loud that Dogmeat could hear it from literally halfway across the map, but he's the only dog who came running. Whatever, let's go find Kellogg's base. Now, we don't actually have to follow Dogmeat. Once we have this quest, we can just go straight to Fort Hagen, if we know where that is at least. And we do. It's just a couple minutes west of Oberlin Station, a settlement that I like getting on my map because it's a great source of potatoes, something that we need for vegetable starch. Getting there was easy, hardly fought anything. The actual turrets on Fort Hagen were annoying though. Normally it's easy to just shoot them manually without them hitting us, but VATS is pretty useless here. It will tell me that I have a 95% chance to hit, then it'll waste 4 bullets hitting a ledge. I should probably take that perk that lets me hit limbs behind cover. That might help for when VATS lies about hit chance like this. I wasted a bunch of rifle ammo, but we got in without taking any serious damage. Now, I was actually pretty worried about this place, but it went super easy. Their Institute pistols are weak energy weapons, and we're loaded up on leather gear, so they could hardly hurt us. And just about every fight in here is close range, so our laser pistol did a great job. We build crits super fast, so it's easy to spend crits on knocking limbs off of the synths here to make them useless. Plus, having Kate run in with a melee weapon is great here since she does a great job at distracting them while we get free shots on them. Plus, we get to see a lot of their sweet leg sweep and scoop slam animations. While we were here, I found a bobblehead that makes our energy weapon critical hits deal 25% more damage. That's perfect. We're gonna deal some great damage once we get to Kellogg. I'll make sure that I have some crits banked so I can rush him down. I just hope that I can still target him in VATS despite the stealth boy. So this fight with Kellogg was a hard one. Took 3 tries. First try, I tried talking things out with him for a bit to see if there was a sarcastic option. And there was. It literally wasn't even sarcastic, it's just some action hero line, although honestly, not a bad one. The fight doesn't last long though. His stealth boy keeps us from hitting him in VATS, so while I wait for them to run out, I have to fight the synths. I take out their arms, but they still chase us down and do surprising damage with left-handed punches. We get taken out pretty early from a grenade. Forgot about those. On try 2, I used VATS right away to take legs off of the synths, so that we could easily finish them off. Then I'd run around and wait for Kellogg's stealth boy to wear off. It took a while and his grenades were still really dangerous, but we have a lot of stim packs. Problem is, our laser pistol wasn't really doing much. I could hit him lots, and kept trying to cripple his right arm, but even with loads of crits, we had an awful time trying to take him down. Eventually, I switched to a hunting rifle, and that works much better. He seems to be taking a lot more damage from bullets than from energy weapons. I had to get Kate back up a couple of times, but between her bat shots and our rifle, we managed to take him out. His gun he dropped is awesome, by the way. A 44 caliber revolver with great damage and an ability where it restores all of our AP on a critical hit. Considering how easily we generate critical hits, we could really mess someone up with this. It's going to be one of our best guns we can get in this run. Now, you may be wondering, why did it take a third try if I just won this fight? Well, that would be because right after taking him out, I used his terminal to open the doors, then got stuck in it. If I zoom out a bit, yeah, I'm in a falling animation forever. No, I don't know why. I tried jumping, ducking, sprinting, going in and out of the terminal. No luck. I had to reload my save, and my save was from before the fight. Thanks, Bethesda. It just works. Third time was easy, though. We just used the same strategy as the last for the synths, but used the hunting rifle the whole time against Kellogg, and we took him out really quickly. I just went for headshots this time. Headshot crits did tons of damage. Now, I got some fusion cores while I was in here, so let's go to Vault 81. So here's the shop in Vault 81, and this is the gun that we want. It's super powerful. It uses the 45 caliber bullets that we have like 900 of, and most importantly, it has an incredible ability where it makes it so that it fires 2 bullets every time we shoot it once, while only using 1 bullet worth of ammo. So basically, it's magic and that's awesome. Problem is, it costs a fortune. 4,248 caps, and we only have a little under half of that. I don't want to have to wait half the game to get this thing because it's really strong, but we might have to. I'll have to come back when I have the money. Trust me, I've been selling everything that I can get my hands on, but our super low strength means our carry capacity just isn't that great. So now's the part of the game where we have a whole lot of travel and very little combat. Let's breeze through this. We got to Valentine's office, and he tells us to go to Good Neighbor. I try to get a jump on the thug at the start of the place, but by hitting VATS right as he goes to talk to me, we have this weird glitch where we're just standing with our gun out while a conversation happens. Then we watch him get shanked like usual, and the conversation ends. And we still can't move. All I can do is move my mouse around and my gun kind of wiggles a little bit, but nothing else happens. This is why I save often. Even with the unofficial patch that fixes thousands of glitches, some still slip through the cracks. Someone's gonna have to make me some kind of fancy It Just Works animated logo to use whenever this happens. Anyway, I reload the save, shoot the guy dead before he even talks to me, and the mayor praises us for making a show of dominance. I don't know how that works, considering if the thug makes a show of dominance on us, he just gets shanked for it, but whatever, at least it was funny. I go to the memory lounge, say some sarcastic stuff that's honestly better than the usual lines.
Doctor, it's time for you to reverse death itself.
What?
And I go through Kellogg's memory to find out that the Institute teleports and that we have to track down an Institute scientist in the glowing sea. Hey, if you're new to this game and you want to learn all of this stuff in detail, then watch my Fallout 4 with only pipe weapons challenge. I spend a lot more time giving plot details in that one. Anyway, before we go to the glowing sea, I went ahead and got green tech on my map early since I knew that we'd need to go there for another part of the main quest soon anyway, so I may as well get it early. I also fought some raiders, but they were mostly level 1 and super easy, so we didn't really get much experience or good loot. Still, I need to get whatever experience and loot I can. I'm gonna have to save up for that amazing rifle sooner or later. The glowing sea is easy as always. You can just run through this place in a few minutes. You don't need to actually fight anything. Just take like 3 Rad-X with you, and you'll hardly take any radiation the entire trip. Okay, so we have to go do green tech next, and that place is rough. So I used a level up to get gun nut level 2, and then I upgraded our old 10mm pistol to have an advanced receiver to boost the damage and rate of fire. I also upgraded our hunting rifle to have a calibrated powerful receiver. These are some solid upgrades, so let's see how this goes. So green tech is the first real dangerous area of most runs. That is to say, even when I'm playing casually with no challenge, I tend to die in here at least once or twice. Between Molotovs, cryomines, and at one point a rocket launcher, it's easy to die in here if you're not careful. Normally all the turrets here are really annoying, but we're at the point where our VATS can pretty easily take them out, so at least we don't have to worry about them. The enemies themselves aren't too bad, but they can be annoying when there's tons in the same area, since we only have so many action points to go around. While I was there was this awesome moment where the rocket launcher guy, who always kills me, fired his rocket, but thanks to VATS making you take a fraction of regular damage while you're in it, I was able to not only take him out, but totally tank a rocket with minimal damage. That timing was great. Anyway, I fought my way to the top to fight the Courser. The first part of the fight was mostly just me sitting outside the door waiting for his many stealth boys to wear off. He can take us out pretty quickly if I actually wait in the room with him, so I kept my distance. Once they wore off, I blitzed him down as fast as I could with Kellogg's revolver, using our banked crits to restore our AP on the last shot each time to take him down as quickly as possible. It worked great. I think this is going to be our best gun for taking down bosses. With that done, we have to go find the railroad next.
Next stop, the railroad. Choo-choo.
Okay. I actually really liked that one. So we talked to Desdemona of the railroad, and she has a report that says that we took out a Courser. Her intel mustn't be that good since she said that we did it alone. Hey, Kate helped. Anyway, I tell her that I have the chip, and she says to follow her. Then she gets stuck on a wall. This game, man. So they decode the chip and I take it back to Virgil. We're at the part of the game where we need to get allies to help us get into the Institute. Last time I went with the Institute themselves, so let's go with the Brotherhood of Steel this time. I don't know if I've ever actually done their ending, now that I think about it. So we go to the local police station where some members of the Brotherhood are holding off against a horde of feral ghouls. We easily take them down and meet Paladin Dance. He doesn't appreciate our sarcasm, but he's happy to help us make a transmitter if we join the Brotherhood. And to do that, we have to run a mission with him. I say yes, and right away we leave to go do it. We need something from a nearby building to upgrade the transmitter in the police station, so that's what we're looking for. This mission is honestly pretty easy, just escorting Dance through a building full of pretty weak synths. We're never in any serious danger since he's in power armor and has an incredible laser rifle that shoots super fast. He pretty much obliterates everything we see. Partway through, we have this awesome shootout where there's tons of synths dropping in on us and we're shooting down wave after wave. You can activate a rocket in here to take them all out, but I just used VATS instead, and honestly, Dance did tons of the work. The experience gain here was great. Not long after, we found the last room, get what we were looking for, and get out of there. Dance was impressed with our performance, invited us to join the Brotherhood of Steel, so naturally we said yes, and as a reward, he gave us a modded laser rifle that does double the critical damage and builds crits faster. Considering we have a level 2 better crit perk, that means our critical hits are 4 times stronger than usual with this gun. And that's not even counting the magazines that boost our energy weapon's critical damage, plus the bobblehead we found for it earlier. My crit damage with this thing is gonna be insane. I should see if I can mod this thing right away. Man, I really regret being low intelligence now. I had no idea I'd be rolling with energy weapons for so much of the run. Extra accuracy and critical damage, you say? Don't mind if I do. I cannot wait to use this thing. Anyway, I go back to the Brotherhood police station, and they give me some quests to do. Reese has a quest where I have to clear out an area, and, it's not on the map. A glitch, maybe? Let's check the wiki. Oh, he told me to clear out a place that's not on the map. It's in one of the DLC. Is that supposed to happen? Nope, it's not. Here it is in the bugs section. Yeah, I actually have to use the console command just to fix the game. Seriously, I really need some kind of it just works animation. This is wild. Probably unrelated, but I'm getting more glitches now that I have the unofficial Fallout 4 patch. Am I cursed? So I go back in to report to Reese.
Affirmative.
Dude?
Hi.
So we get a quest after to go find out what happened to a recon team. This takes us walking across a bunch of the wasteland, playing hot and cold while finding the bodies and listening to the holotapes they left behind. The first 2 took a while to find, but there was nothing too serious. But the third one was in the middle of a super mutant base, and this was the hardest fight for the entire run up until this point. Not only is the place crawling with super mutants with rifles who can safely pick us off very easily, but there are 3 bosses here, with 2 of them being legendary, level 35 super mutants. We're only level 16. We're going crazy with non-stop stim packs in here. Eventually, what I had to do is keep popping in and out of cover, using tons of shots with our cheap 10mm pistol to get crits banked, then spending them on the laser rifle, and even then it took tons of crits to make anyone go down. It literally took 15 minutes just to win this fight, but at least we got some awesome synth armor that gives us 2 luck, as well as another one that helps disarm people in melee, so I go ahead and give that to Kate. I listened to the holotapes, they led me to the bunker to the north, there we found a paladin who's been hiding out, he thanks us for the dog tags, and we go and report back. That's when I had to go to the wiki wondering where the next quest is, and I realized we ran into another glitch. Remember how normally when you leave Fort Hagen you see the giant Brotherhood of Steel blimp? Did you notice that I didn't show it? That's because it just didn't show up when I left. I looked around for it, it just never appeared. Well, it turns out that you can't get the required quest to progress the Brotherhood of Steel story to appear until you get that cutscene. And because it never happened, the whole quest line is just broken. I can't believe how much time I just wasted. That is brutal. At least I got the awesome laser rifle. I'm sure if I knew more about the console commands, I could probably manually trigger the cutscene and fix this glitch, but I don't know the console command for that and I don't really know what to look up. Okay, the laser rifle. I'm gonna change its stock to make it a pistol because I took some perks that increase my pistol damage and pistol range. Then I'm gonna go do the Minutemen storyline because I really wanna make some progress and the Railroad storyline overlaps a ton with the Institute story that we already did. Okay, so back to the quest that we skipped from literally the start of the game, saving the Minutemen. I talked to Garvey right away about him helping us, but he says he's in a bit of a bind. I appreciate that there is dialogue for that, at least. So he explains the usual start of the game stuff. There's power armor and a minigun on the roof. I should get it and clear out the raiders. So I go to the roof, I get in the armor, I get the minigun, I jump down, and there's no enemies. And the quest still says to talk to Garvey. What is going on? So I go back in there, he repeats all of the same dialogue, except this time with an extra line for me already being in the armor and already having a minigun. Now when I go outside, the enemies are here. The game is hanging on by a thread. So the Deathclaw appears, it's super strong at first, and then just kind of does almost no damage to us, and then suddenly starts losing health like crazy. This must be some kind of balance thing. I have no idea. Look, either way, we save the Minutemen and they agree to move into Sanctuary with us. So I talked to Garvey back at the base and he says that he'll be happy to help us build the thingy that we need to get to the Institute, but I have to go see what a local settlement needs us to do first. Oh no, it's the meme from when the game was new all over again. Alright, so he sends me out to go to a settlement to see what they need. I talk to them, and they say that I have to go take out some raiders. So I go to where they want me to go, and one-shot 5 raiders. Insanely easy. The quest is meant to be done at the start of the game. By the way, our special laser pistol, Righteous Authority, is insanely awesome now that I made it into a laser pistol. It uses way less AP, and even got a range and damage boost from my pistol perks. This is awesome. Once I get back, I can go ahead and make a whole relay to teleport into the Institute. I almost forgot just how much shorter the Minutemen questline is compared to the other ones. If memory serves, the Minutemen path through the main game is the shortest. We'll see though. Let's get to the Institute. So as soon as we get to the Institute, we use Sturge's network scanner on one of the computers in there. You know, Father is watching us, right? At least he knows where we are and tells us when to get in the elevator. Why doesn't he see us clearly shoving stuff into his computers to steal data? Alright, let's have some fun with the Robo-Sean. How badly can I make this conversation go?
I'll kill them for this. All of them.
I don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here, help me!
Damn it. Sean! Open the door!
Father? He's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
Okay, now as hilarious as that would be, I'm gonna reload and talk to him instead. Although if I remember right, you can actually skip a few quests if you just shoot him dead right now. Maybe I'll do that next time. That could be funny. So I talk to him, I try outright telling him that I won't join a few times, but he doesn't really seem to care. He just makes us talk to everyone anyway. I go around and I talk to the people leading this place since I know that I'll get a relayed ship to fast travel out, and we lucked out. Idiot Savant activated at the end of the quest. We have level 2 Idiot Savant, so that's 5 times more experience. We leveled up twice. We're level 20, so we're pretty strong now. Once I get back to our settlement, I have to talk to Sturgis. But he also has some early game tutorial quests he wants us to do, even though we already did them. Check it out.
I like it. Having a place to sleep will what we need now.
Mm-hmm. I'm on it.
Great.
Hey, Sturgis.
I feel better already, knowing we have a reliable supply. I hope you don't... if we're gonna...
I'll start planting right away.
Good deal. Well, this place is starting to feel like home. Trouble is,
Right.
what we need is to get...
I'm on it.
Thanks.
Sturgis.
Thanks for doing that. We'll all sleep better.
Uh-huh.
It's been a long road.
I was glad to help.
Well, I appreciate it.
Sure.
Of course, you know you're welcome. Windows, too.
Here's that holotape you gave me. Full of Institute data. I hope.
Anyway, now that he has the network data, we can't progress until I fully declare the Institute as an enemy. I could do that just by killing someone in the Institute, but I could also do it by completing a few Minutemen settlement quests to unlock the quest where we would get to take over the castle. Then we have to defend the castle in another quest. That's a lot more work, but it also has a cool boss fight, so I'll do it. Just for you guys. First, though, is some settlement quests. Again, these are all incredibly easy, and we were meant to do these right at the start of the game. There really isn't anything to show here. The hardest thing we had to fight was a few super mutants who were far, far lower leveled than the ones we fought for the Brotherhood of Steel quest. Once we finished those, we finally got to go to the quest to take the castle. Apparently it's an old Minutemen base, and they have some kind of radio tower there that we could use to easily coordinate with settlements across the map. Let's go take it back. So we have a few approaches to taking the castle. I told the Minutemen to hang back outside in a line while I lead Mirelurks to them. It worked pretty well. We would just lure them in and then pick them off one at a time. They're not super difficult, we could probably just run in there, but I took it slow and safe instead. I actually ended up having to do this part of the quest twice because there's this insanely difficult legendary Mirelurk that you don't have to fight right away, hidden away at the top of the castle. I accidentally bumped into him, so he went on a rampage and took me out before even the proper boss appeared. Second attempt, and I just didn't go near him and took out everything else easily. Now the boss is where it gets really tough. The Mirelurk Queen. She's absolutely massive, faster than us, and hits super hard. We can hide from her by going into the castle, but then she keeps sending out hatchlings to attack us. They're not tough though, but we can't just waste our AP constantly attacking them when we're supposed to be building up our AP to take her down. We hardly hurt her even with critical hits, so I spent most of my time popping out a doorway, shooting her as much as possible, then going back into the castle to pop out somewhere else. Eventually, I just started walking past the hatchlings that she sent at me. They don't actually hit us very much if we jump a lot, and they hardly do damage in the first place. It took a few minutes, but we took her down without much problem. We got the castle. Okay, so next I have to sleep for 3 days and then come back. Weird requirement, I know, but we need to wait for someone to show up. Here she is, Ronnie. She's an old Minuteman who used to be based here. She let us know that there's a stash of old guns, so we have to dig through some tunnels to get to it. The underground bit's pretty easy. There's a few mines we have to make sure not to step on, and a big scary robot that would easily take us out if not for how he's stuck in the room he starts in, so we can just pop in, shoot a few crits, and pop back out. We take him out in no time. I still can't get through the door, though, because for some reason Ronnie just doesn't follow us down here, so I run back out, she appears, then I go back, and she opens it. Once we get to the stash, it's supplies for artillery. We make some, assign a dude to it, and now we have to use it. The way you use it is by throwing a smoke grenade, then they bombard where the smoke is. As cool as it would be to use this in combat, it would be dealing damage to enemies without using VATS, so I'm not going to use it in a fight. That's another quick quest done, though. Now, that's the end of the Minutemen quests until we've made enemies of the Institute. We could do a bunch of Institute quests until we get to the one where we recruit that scientist, and since the Minutemen have defended their castle, they'll be there to defend him instead of generic mercenaries. Then we would choose to side with them. But that takes forever and would get us to do a bunch of quests that we already did in the previous video, so instead I'm going to take the quick approach. Shoot a dude in the Institute, then sprint back to the relay to leave. It's actually super easy. You'd think they'd have like an emergency shutdown or something, but they don't. Father just trash talks me on the intercom a bit, and I teleport out. Once we get back, we tell Preston Garvey that it's time to take the fight to the Institute. He said that, well, Sturgis finds a way to do that. I should go recruit more settlements. Man! Alright, fine, I'll go do more settlement quests. So they make us do another 3. The first one, we have to fight some super easy raiders underground. The second one, we had to fight some super easy ghouls in a building. The third one, they made me clear out a settlement location across the entire map that took like 2 seconds, and they could have totally done it on their own if they were anywhere near it. And the whole process looked something like this. And we're done. Next, we get told that the Institute is going to do an attack on our castle, so we've got to get over there to help defend it. We're actually really close to the end of the game at this point, and I would have to build some turrets to do that, but I don't actually have the supplies here. They're in Sanctuary, and if I fast traveled and came back, then the fight just starts. So I just fast travel away and come back so the fight starts early. The fight is insane. It took an entire half an hour, but it was actually pretty fun. It's just wave after wave of synths who teleport into the fight. We've got a handful of Minutemen on our side, and a few of them can't die. They just get knocked down and then get back up later, so it's never just us in the fight. Progressively, the waves get tougher and tougher, so my strategy is to hang out along the top wall of the castle so I can pop out, get as many hits as I can, and then back up. Everyone here has a lot of energy resistance, so I have to be really careful. Regular shots hardly hurt anything, but they build up crits quickly, then I can spend the crits to try and finish them off with headshots. Even the weakest synth takes 2 to 3 critical headshots to take down, with the coursers being the most dangerous by far. They take about 6 to 7 critical headshots, and sometimes they use stim packs to take even longer than that. It gets really dangerous whenever the coursers get in our face, as I just have to play ring around the broken artillery. See, even though they can see us clear as day through the middle of this thing, they are really stupid and won't shoot through the broken artillery, nor will they run around it very well. This gets dangerous if they try to flank me, so I have to be careful and try to quickly take down any extra synths that show up, and then leave the high health coursers for last, unless I see one who already has low health from fighting the Minutemen. Then I absolutely go for the kill shot as soon as I can. Most of the synths don't do a ton of damage, but the coursers are both insanely accurate and deal tons of damage. They can snipe you with rapid-fire lasers from across the whole castle. This battle went on for so long that we finally dropped below 1,000 energy cells for our gun. After an entire half an hour of fighting, they finally ran away. They dropped so much good synth armor for us to wear, though. This is perfect. I even gave some to Kate. Okay, so this is the last required quest in the game. It's time to go take down the Institute. Let's take one last look at our perks. Man, we're level 25. I think we were only level 21 by the end of the previous challenge. That must be the extra experience from Idiot Savant kicking in. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with our perks, to the point that the last few levels, I just got our agility up, so it's at 8 now. That gives us tons more AP. I think that we're gonna have a pretty good chance of winning this. Oh, and I have the money for the Overseer Guardian Rifle now, but I really don't think I'm gonna need it anymore. Our laser pistol is awesome, and we have so many energy weapon crit bonuses that I think we should stick with this. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not.
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, first section is just us breaking into the Institute through some underground tunnels that they use to get water for cooling. There are some basic enemies here, nothing too crazy. Even the synths we run into near the end of this area just aren't as tough as anything we fought in the castle. It's a lot of walking, but nothing really hurts us. Once we get in, we're at the relay, so we pop in Sturge's tape, and now we're able to teleport Minutemen in. Next is the old robotics area, and this was pretty easy, just a bit more fighting than before. We have backup this time though, so it's really no problem at all. Just another long walk to biotech. Biotech itself was a bit harder. They released their synth gorillas, so we have a melee fight, but I mostly just let Kate handle it. The gorillas take a lot of hits to take down, but we have so many dudes shooting at them that it's not that much of a problem. We clear our way out to the lobby quickly. Next was the lobby, and this place was super annoying. We have tons of backup, but synths like shooting us from weird angles, and there's this really long fight with a courser that keeps using stealth boys, so I can't target him. We got lucky and our allies mostly just fought him in melee, but man, stealth boys are a bigger issue than I thought they were going to be. Plus, the regular synths here have a lot more health than the ones in the rest of the base, so each one takes an extra head crit to take down. Once we fought our way through this group of dudes, we get told that we have to go to Father's computer to override the lockdown so that we can get to the reactor. So we go to Father's office and he's on his deathbed complaining about how we're ruining all of his work. He asks me if I'm here to gloat. Actually, I'm here because you were talking to me, but sure, yeah, I'll say I'm here to gloat. I go to his computer, give the evacuation order to be a nice guy, and override the lockdown. Once I get back to the lobby, there are tons of synths. We could just run ahead to the next area, but I decided to stay and clear the place out. I actually had to run away into the side rooms a lot to pick them off into small groups since they loved ganging up. And although they took a lot of hits, we still didn't take that long clearing the place out. Last is the reactor, and for the last shootout of the whole game, it's actually pretty easy. There's one dude with a rocket launcher, but he instantly hit a wall, so I just crit him in the arm and then the head to finish him off. Actually, the special enemies down here all have way less health than regular synths, so we cleared out the place really quickly. Once it was clear, we just pop some Rad-X, go into the reactor, plant the bomb, and ask Sturgis to teleport us back to the relay. And as one last glitch on the way out, as I was just about to leave, I get told to talk to Robo-Sean. But I can't. The game won't let me. So I talk to Sturgis about leaving, and he says I just have to talk to Sean. I tried sitting on the bench and skipping time ahead, but that did nothing. So I had to reload the save to before the teleport here, and this time Sean went ahead and talked to me. He wants to come with us. I totally don't trust him, but I said sure, why not? We get in the relay, teleport to the top of the mass fusion building, flip the switch, and blow the place up. Would you look at the size of that explosion? I know that Preston said to do the evacuation order to save civilian lives, but seriously, look at that explosion. There's no way innocents weren't killed. If not underground, then for sure on the surface. Anyway, the credits roll and we're done the run. I had a really fun time with that one. It felt pretty weird at first, but at some point it became really natural. I can't believe that I never accidentally fired a shot at someone without VATS once the whole run. I never even ended up shooting a single gun outside of VATS to like hit a light or something. If you want to do a fun run yourself in Fallout 4, I'd absolutely recommend this one. This was a fun one. I hope you guys like that run. For next Saturday's challenge, it's back to Pokemon with Pokemon Heart Gold with only one Ladybug. Yeah, it's my first ever Heart Gold challenge. I'm looking forward to it. As always, I'm looking at your suggestions in the comments, in the challenge request section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Alright, outro time. Man, that was such a long script. That was a really fun run to do, though. I enjoyed that one a lot. I think I even enjoyed that one more than the pipe rifle run that I did, or the pipe weapon run that I did. Just because VATS is a really fun mechanic in this game, and I got to make like a totally different build that I had never done before. Plus, it was satisfying that we literally didn't need to use VATS at all. I was thinking that there could be some weird thing I had to use it for, like it wouldn't be active for a section or something, you know, like right at the start of the game in the tutorial, but no, they activate VATS before the first fight, so you can use it as soon as you need to. That was really fun. Other stuff to talk about. Physio's going well. Since the last time I talked to you guys in one of these voiceovers, I've had 2 physio appointments now, and I am doing way better pain-wise. Even my heart rate's getting better and everything. It turns out that like the neck muscles and tendons and everything was so tight in the right side of my neck that it was pulling my shoulder up, and it still is pulling my shoulder up a little bit, but we're working on that right now with weekly manual therapy and like physiotherapy that I do at home. But when it gets pulled up and pulled up and pulled up, it actually starts crunching on some nerves and some arteries and veins and stuff up by the first rib and the collarbone and all that stuff. and makes your heart rate go crazy, which explains why my heart rate would more consistently go awful if I was like, say I was cooking something on the stove and I'm kind of hovering over the frying pan with my arms out in front of me, you know, doing something on the pan, then it would really freak out. Yeah, it makes sense because that's crunching up shoulder bits and everything. So right now, the focus is just on recovery, on manual therapy, on physiotherapy, and obviously on keeping up on like at-home exercises to build up the muscle, to keep my posture good through all of this work. And thankfully, I already have a lot of experience with all that posture work, so that's all comfortable for me. It's just, I really feel like I've gotten beaten up after each physio session because they're stretching out and waking up fine little neck and shoulder muscles that have not been in good shape for probably a very long time. It doesn't matter how much stretching and posture work and stuff you do at home. There's a lot of little fine muscles in there that if they're already messed up, and they were probably from when I was much younger, then they need a little bit of manual therapy to get moving again. Now that they are moving again, at least decently so, I'm making some pretty good progress. So I've been really happy about that. And that's why I've been able to work a bit more. So expect to see a lot more of these videos soon. You're probably already seeing a whole lot more uploading by now. Speaking of, though, I need to get editing this video, and this looks like it's going to be a long one. So I should get started on that. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.